talk about space, because space is cool. So if you were watching any kind of news last month, you would have realised that Apollo 11 celebrated its 50th anniversary last month. 50 years since Metin first landed on the moon. Now, I am only just old enough to remember the original mission. And back in 1969, I was a huge fan of anything connected to space. Here is pictorial evidence of a photo taken about the same time. To be fair, in 2019, I'm still a big fan of everything connected to space. I don't have a similar photo to tell you of that. So, Sunday, 14th of July this year, so about 3 weeks ago, I'm sitting at my desktop in my flat and I'm working on my slides for talks for this conference. But actually I'm thinking, really there should be a Twitter bot that does something to celebrate Apollo 11. And I'm thinking, what it could do is it could actually tweet the mission timeline in, well, I was going to say in real time, but in real time plus 50 years. But actually what I'm thinking is, writing that's going to be a lot more interesting than writing these talks that I'm writing. So time passes, about 90 minutes passes, and we have a Twitter bot. Obviously, originally at that point it didn't have all the tweets attached to it, but it took me about 90 minutes to get from thinking this would be cool to actually this is live on Twitter and working. So I thought it's there. It's at Apollo 11 at 50, and so I thought I'd share. I've probably got maybe 3.5 minutes left to show you how to write a Twitter bot. So now what you need three things. You need some data to tweet, you need some code to do the tweeting, and you need some images to make your Twitter account look pretty. So look at the data first. So I talked about wanting to tweet the Apollo 11 timeline. So when I wanted to find some data, obviously I Googled Apollo 11 mission timeline. And I found this page on the NASA website, a table which has got some text and then the GMT time and date of when this took place. You'll notice that I said I was doing this on July the 14th, and the first date in that column is July the 14th. So I was under a little bit of pressure, which is why... but this is just a simple HTML table, so a bit of screen scraping, a bit of data munging. I know how to do that. And then stick it in a database. Code? Well, the code actually turns out to be really easy. There's a thing called NetTwitter on CPAN, and it just works. There's nothing that you need to do. You need to register for a developer account at Twitter, but that seems to all be automated because I got an approval through within about 2 minutes of submitting the form. The code is there on GitHub if anybody wants to see, but it's really not very clever because I wrote it in less than 90 minutes. Images. Now, images was interesting because I didn't know where I'd find images, but it turns out that nobody ever accused NASA of not taking enough photos. They have thousands, hundreds of thousands, and as a bonus, they're all freely licensed for you to use however you want. So then the next thing I needed to think about was deployment, and of course all the sexy things these days, GitHub, bit of Travis CI perhaps, Docker images, deploying on AWS, ECS. Well, I only had 90 minutes, so it was a Git checkout onto a real computer that had a cron job running on it. First couple of tweets didn't work. I'm not a sysadmin, okay? But eventually we got some tweets working. Lift off, lunar landing, and then, oh shit. Unicode fail on the most important tweet in the series, the one that said, "One small step for a man." It was an easy fix though, so I fixed it, and it'll work when we do it again in 2029. It hasn't finished tweeting yet. There are 3 more tweets to go, but you'll have to follow it to find out when they appear. So once again, that's at Apollo 11 at 50. And if you want something that carries on tweeting after that, please follow me because I'm needy. Thank you very much.